Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Read Aloud. Today is Tuesday, June 2nd, and we have a new book to read today. Now, I know that at least friends in Fisk definitely know this book because it was in our classroom for a while. But we are actually going to read it all together, and we are going to answer some questions about it. Now, today we're only going to read the first half of it, and then tomorrow we'll read the second half of it. So yeah, let's get started. Just a reminder, underneath this video in the description below will be the distance learning folder or the link to the distance learning folder, as well as the folder for the materials that you'll just need for today. Now in the PowerPoint that I included that has all the pages in the book, I included the whole book. Don't look ahead because we're only going to read half today. So you'll see in the middle of the book where I put the questions, that's where we're going to stop today. All right, so now we can get started. Now, the story today is called Cece Loves Science. And I bet you guys can already tell that this is going to be a fiction text because there are illustrations. We clearly seem to have a main character, and we are going to learn about her. So let's get started. Cece loves science. Cece loved to ask questions. Her mother and father said her first word, no, her mother said her first word was why. Her father said it was how. But her favorite question was what if. So see, she's got her own treehouse laboratory. Lab is short for laboratory. And she can do all of her experiments. Um, she built a plane. She's got a dog. I think she's feeding the dog with the plane. It's pretty cool. Oh, my face is in the way. Here we go. Go down here. You would make a great scientist, Cece, said her teacher, Miss Curie, because science is all about asking questions. Do fish ever get thirsty? Cece wanted to know. They do, said Miss Curie. Do hummingbirds really hum? The sound comes from their wings, said Miss Curie. What if we all jumped at the same time? Would the earth move? Good question, said Miss Curie. I think we should investigate. So imagine every single person in the world jumps at the same time. Would the earth move? We may never know. So apparently fish do get thirsty. I didn't know that was true because fish live in water. Um, and the hummingbird gets its name from the sound of their wings. They don't actually hum with their voice like we can. They hum with the sound of their wings. All right, so now that we've read the first couple of pages, we can answer the first question. Who is the main character and what do we know about the main character so far? So we know the main character from the first couple of pages, and we also know important information about this character. So I'll flip back and forth between the pages that we've read, and you take a couple minutes to write down who you think the main character is and any important information about them that we need to know. Go ahead. All right, so the main character is who the story is about. And the cover and the first couple of pages, and then the pages that we're on now, are all featured around one character. That means that this whole story is going to be about the character that the pages have really been about. So we see this character right in the middle of the cover. That's Cece. Um, her parents are watching her. She's the one in action. Well, I mean, her dog is, but she's the one who is making her dog do that. And we see that Cece is turned toward the reader, which means that instead of the teacher being turned toward the reader, which means that Cece is the main character of the story. So we know that Cece is the main character of the story. And what do we know about Cece so far? Well, we know that Cece loved to ask questions. She loved to ask questions, and that her teacher thinks she should be a scientist because science is all about asking questions. And we also know that she loves science because, look, that's the title of the story. Cece loves science. So we know that the main character is Cece, and she loves to ask questions, and she loves science. All right, now we're going to read the rest of the first half of the book before we answer the rest of the questions. So let's go ahead. Miss Curie told Cece and her friends about famous scientists from history, such as Caroline Herschel, Thomas Edison, George Washington Carver, and Jane Goodall. She also introduced them to many different sciences. Geology is the study of the earth, biology is the study of living things, and entomology is the study of insects. And see, this is Cece. She's raising her hand. She's the only student here where you can see her color, the color of her shirt and her hair and her skin, um, which then again shows how she is the main character. The main focus is on her. Oh, my face is in the way again. Here we go. Let's go down here. One day, Miss Curie told everyone to pair up. For our next project, I'd like you to pick a science you are curious about and come up with a question to investigate, she said. Cece and her best friend Isaac were a team. They both loved zoology, which is the study of animals. Now they just needed to think of an interesting question. First, they brainstormed a bunch of ideas. Science is all about possibilities. Is a bear ticklish? Cece asked. Do we really want to find out? Said Isaac. Do pigs know that they are smelly? Cece asked. Only a pig can answer that, Isaac said. Keep thinking, said Miss Curie. A scientist thinks outside the box and never, ever gives up. So look, Cece asks, is the bear ticklish? And Isaac is imagining what would happen if they tried to test that out. I don't think the bear looks too happy. And then we see here the pig is holding up his armpit as if to like smell it and check himself to see if he's smelly. And then I guess this is a goldfish falling asleep. So these are all some ideas that they've been brainstorming about. So let's see if they actually do investigate any of them. That night at dinner, Cece was explaining the project to her parents when her dog Einstein jumped up and started eating the food right off her plate. Einstein, down, said Cece's mother. Cece giggled. Her plate was licked clean except for the broccoli. Look what Einstein did, she said. I guess neither of you likes your veggies, her dad said, laughing. This observation gave Cece a great idea. Einstein could be their science project. Cece called Isaac. I've got it. Let's find out if dogs eat vegetables. Cool, said Isaac. Cece couldn't wait to get started. So here, they've decided that the question they're going to investigate is if dogs eat vegetables. Because when Einstein jumped up and ate the food off of Cece's plate, he left the veggies. He didn't want them. The next day after school, Cece and Isaac headed straight to Cece's lab to work on their project. All right, so they've got their worksheet over here, so let's read through it. Miss Curie's science probably says project worksheet, Cece and Isaac. Science, zoology, the study of animals. Brainstorm ideas. Is a bear ticklish? Do pigs think they stink? Do fish sleep? What is your question? Do dogs eat vegetables? Your test subject, dogs. Uh, canis, I think that's the species, related to the wolf coyote. List some fun facts about your subject. Einstein, named after Albert Einstein. Weight, 40 pounds. Color, gray. Eyes, brown. So they're very thorough about their science investigation. It shows that they're good scientists. What do we do first? Asked Isaac. Let's observe our subject, Cece said. Observation. Doggy treats guarantee 100% participation, said Cece. Excellent data, said Isaac. Isaac and Cece watched Einstein eat. They watched Einstein drink. They even watched Einstein sleep. Sometimes science was all about waiting and waiting and waiting for something really cool to happen. So Isaac and Cece are being pretty patient, just waiting for something cool to happen. From our observations, we know Einstein loves to eat kibble and doggy treats, said Cece. Now we need to investigate our questions, said Isaac. Do dogs eat vegetables? I already know Einstein doesn't like broccoli, said Cece. I don't either. Let's test some different veggies, said Isaac. It's experiment time, said Cece. Finally. So she was really excited about the experiment, but she had to wait and be patient while they were making their observation. So we've got the worksheet here that says their observations. So let's look at it. Miss Curie's science project worksheet. What are your observations? He eats, drinks, and sleeps. He loves to eat his kibble. He doesn't like broccoli. He jumps on the table. Doggy treats guarantee 100% participation. Experiment. What variables are you? Ooh, what does it say? What variables are you testing? Carrots, beans, and cucumbers. Ooh, so those are the new vegetables that they are testing. They know he doesn't like broccoli, but they're testing if he likes carrots, beans, or cucumbers. So now we're going to answer the rest of our questions. This is all we're going to read today, and then we're going to read the other half tomorrow. So we already answered the question, who is the main character and what do we know about the main character so far? We know that the main character is Cece, and she loves to ask questions and she loves science. Already answered that question. Now we can go on to this question. Face is in the way again. All right. Which of the following sentences are true about Cece? A. Cece loves to ask questions. B. Cece's favorite science is geology, the study of the earth. Or C. Cece doesn't like broccoli. All right, so we already pretty much know that A is true, but we still need to go back and find the text evidence. So let's go back to the beginning. The first line of this book tells us whether this question is true or false. Cece loved to ask questions. All right, let's go all the way back. Cece loves to ask questions. Which of the following sentences are true about Cece? We know that that is true. Let's go back here. We're going to go up here so that we can use our marker. Which of those following questions are true about Cece? Cece loves to ask questions. We know that that's true. We just found the text evidence for it. And we wrote that down as something that we know about the main character so far. All right, next one. Cece's favorite science is geology, the study of the earth. All right, let's go back to where they were learning about the different science. We've got this page and then this page. Let's go over here. He also introduced them to many different sciences. Geology is the study of the earth, biology is the study of living things, entomology is the study of insects. All right, so we know what geology is, but we don't know if that is Cece's favorite science. One day, Miss Curie told everyone to pair up. For our next project, I'd like you to pick a science you are curious about and come up with a question to investigate, she said. Cece and her best friend Isaac were a team. They both loved zoology, which is the study of animals. All right, so now that's our text evidence. They both loved zoology, which is the study, oh my goodness, which is the study of animals. Now, is zoology the same as geology? Geology is the study of the earth, and zoology is the study of the animals. So this one is not true. All right, the third one. Cece doesn't like broccoli. Well, I think we know about that. We can go here. We can actually look at this in two different places. We can look here on this page, and then we can double check it on the page later. So let's read this page. That night at dinner, Cece was explaining the project to her parents when her dog Einstein jumped up and started eating the food right off her plate. Einstein, down, said Cece's mother. Cece giggled. Her plate was licked clean except for the broccoli. Look what Einstein did, she said. I guess neither of you likes your veggies, said dad, or her dad said laughing. So we know that she doesn't like broccoli because her dad said that. Um, and now we can go back over here when they're starting to brainstorm the different vegetables that they're going to give Einstein. She says, I already know Einstein doesn't like broccoli, said Cece. I don't either. So that makes us double sure that Cece does not like broccoli. So let's see. Is this true? Cece doesn't like broccoli? That is true. That is a correct statement. Cece does not like broccoli. So the two questions you should have circled are A and C, or not the questions. The two answers you should have circled are A and C. All right, the next question asks you, how did Cece decide which question to investigate? How do you know? I'm going to turn back to the page where that information is, and you guys can look for the text evidence and see what you find. So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so you can look for it. Here we go. And remember, the question is, how did Cece decide which question to investigate? How do you know? Go ahead. All right, so remember, the question is, how did Cece decide which question to investigate? Now, we know that on the second page here, um, she calls Isaac because she figured out what question she wants to investigate. So something over here must have caused her to decide that. But let's read in the Wagon. Let's read what's going on. That night at dinner, Cece was explaining the project to her parents when her dog Einstein jumped up and started eating the food right off her plate. Einstein, down, said Cece's mother. Cece giggled. Her plate was licked clean except for the broccoli. Look what Einstein did, she said. I guess neither of you likes your veggies, her dad said, laughing. This observation gave Cece a great idea. Einstein could be their science project. Cece called Isaac. I've got it. Let's find out if dogs eat vegetables. Cool, said Isaac. Cece couldn't wait to get started. All right, so how did Cece decide which question to investigate? So we see that Einstein jumped up and ate all of the food off of Cece's plate except for the broccoli. So that gave Cece an idea. She wants to know if Einstein just doesn't like broccoli or if he actually doesn't like all vegetables. So Cece decided to investigate if Einstein would eat or if dogs would eat vegetables because she saw or she observed, because we're scientists, she observed Einstein jump up and eat all of the food off her plate except for the vegetables. So Cece decided to investigate whether dogs eat vegetables because she observed Einstein eat all of the food off of her plate except for vegetables. And you can tell because he's doing that right here in the picture. And you can see that there's the only food on Cece's plate now is the broccoli. All right, let's do this exit ticket. All right, here we go. Remember, we're only reading half of the book today, so we're going to do an exit ticket today for the first half of the book, and then we'll do an exit ticket tomorrow for the other half of the book or the whole book. All right, so the exit ticket for today. In the story, Cece loves science. We learn that Cece loves science. We did learn that. She loves science. She loves to ask questions. She wants to be a scientist. What details in the story show that Cece loves science? Be sure to use at least 3 details from the text to support your answer. Make sure that you write at least 4 sentences. So everybody's first sentence should be what's called a topic sentence. That sentence is going to be what you're writing about. So we're asking you to to find the details in the story that show that Cece loves science. So your topic sentence: Cece loves science. That's it. That's your topic sentence. Cece loves science. Then you're going to say, I know this because, and then you're going to find 3 details, at least 3, because there are many more, at least 3 details from the text to support your answer. But let's go back. Let's find one. Oh, that's a sneak peek at what's going on. All right. How do we know that Cece loves science? Well, she has her own lab or laboratory where she does her science experiments. That's one. Um, Look at her body language in this picture. She's talking to her science teacher, Miss Curie, and she is leaned forward. She's smiling. She's super engaged in what Miss Curie has to say. She's asking all of these scientific questions, and Miss Curie is telling her that she should be a scientist. So you can tell that she loves science. It's like her favorite thing ever. So those are 2 ways that we know that Cece loves science. You need to think of a couple more of your own and write them down. Remember, your answer needs to be at least 4 sentences, but I bet all of you can do more. So I'll go back to this exit ticket. Remember, in the story Cece loves science, we learned that Cece loves science. Your topic sentence is Cece loves science. Then you're going to answer the question, what details in the story show that Cece loves science? Be sure to use at least 3 details from the text to support your answer, and make sure that you write at least 4 sentences. Now, I know you all can do it. Remember, I want to see at least 3 details right from the text, not from your brain, from the text. All right, my friends, I will see you tomorrow for the rest of Cece Loves Science, and we'll figure out if dogs really do or don't like vegetables.